message here on the telephone, 'cause we've no idea when we're coming home. Any place we wander to, any season we go through, I'll be fine as long as I'm with you. Heaven knows, running round the world.
Happy Groundhog Day, Dave.
So because you left me there for a couple seconds, I thought, is he actually going to play this over and over
No,
again?
we joked about playing the opening just ad nauseum 6-7 times. Why is Groundhog Day synonymous with repeating things? Is it because of the movie? Did we feel this way about Groundhog Day all along?
I thought Groundhog Day was invented to promote the movie. Wasn't that the case?
I never thought of that.
I think it was.
Like when did
I think it was. I think it came before. I think it was some foresight on their part. I think they went, okay, well, let's invent. Now, when did Groundhog Day actually come into existence?
I want to say the 1800s. I'm going to say like 1873.
1873.
That's my guess. I actually have no idea.
This is a perfect time to bring in a special guest we've got in my studio today. This is Arden. So
hi, Arden.
Hi.
Now, Arden, you've done some productions around that area, right? So which productions have you done? No, you do not unmute yourself.
Sorry.
No, there you go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what productions have you done?
There's a lot. You want all of them?
No.
Okay.
Just if you, alphabetical. That's right. Chronological, please.
Well, lately there's been Cinderella and Claresholm.
Yeah.
And
so people might remember you from Cinderella then.
Cinderella. Yeah. Then there was Life Spirit with Claresholm.
There you go.
I was in the last Christmas one, the such drama. Closed for the holidays, I believe.
Right.
And as of right now,
what about Hansel and Gretel?
Oh, and Hansel and Gretel.
Because I remember I was in that one with you. So I wanted to bring these for context, so people that are watching maybe know where who you are and where you come from and all that kind of stuff. So, but you live in Nanton here with me, and we were just talking about Groundhog Day and when Groundhog Day came into existence. Now, Alec, what did you say again?
Sorry, because as you see in my title, Groundhog Historian. So I spent a lot of years studying. 1887.
So 1887?
1887.
What's your guess there, Arden? You have a guess on when Groundhog Day?
1888.
Really? You're going to do the Price is Right move on me and go, unbelievable.
$1.
Not bad.
$1.
Not a bad move.
So as Alec is a groundhog historian, he is correct. 1887.
1887 is
when February 2nd, it was the first Groundhog Day. And like I said, I think it was some foresight on their part. The production company said, we're going to make a movie, Groundhog Day. Now, when did that come out? In 93,
something like that.
So I think it was just foresight that they said we need to create Groundhog Day so that we can promote Groundhog Day when it comes out.
I think that's some incredible marketing, and I think
that is.
So what is the rule here? If the groundhog sees his shadow, it's 6 weeks of winter. If he doesn't see his shadow, it's winter's done. I'm not sure. There's no.
I'm not sure. And isn't there a direction of the shadow or something like that means something?
The direction of the shadow might.
That's where I think that's where the almanac comes in, right? They get all their information from the shadow of the groundhog and the direction.
We're a wealth of misinformation this morning. I think you might be right.
Absolutely.
I don't know, and I know whenever Groundhog Day comes around, it's always like there are people who really tune in to like what the groundhog did or said or whatever the deal is. And I don't know if anyone goes back 6 weeks later and looks at the groundhog data and says you were wrong or like we're going to fire the ground. I'm not really sure. I don't know.
Now, so Arden's a new generation here on the show, right? So I think it's important to have a younger generation like Arden to be on the show to kind of explain to the old people how important Groundhog Day is to the young generation of people.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys do? You have groundhog parties, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't even know it was Groundhog Day today. So,
I don't think they know what it is. Right. What do we got, Brenda here? Hey, there's my daughter.
Were you, Brenda? Were you looking for her? Like, were you down? Like, she's not.
Brenda, this is the modern day monitoring system. Yeah. Everybody goes live, and you know where they are.
You know where they are.
If you want to know where your daughter is, just tune into the show. Yes, we can confirm she's here. She's here with us.
Okay, so she's going to stop looking for her, which is good. The groundhog shadow pointed to Arden and said she's in the studio right now. So
Arden said, "I'm going to go to the studio and do that," and she was like, "Are you sure you're going to go to the studio? Let's just check this out." Yeah, she's at the studio.
She's checking in on you. Yeah. Now, this is the last thing, because we have a special guest today who wasn't even in the credits. He's kind of a big deal, and if I put him in the credits, there'd be mayhem because everyone would be quitting their jobs to come watch the show.
Yeah.
But my question too with this whole groundhog thing is like, do we really want to think about planning our lives around the shadow of a groundhog? It's really nice weather outside right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's unseasonably warm.
Yeah.
So are we going to punt the groundhog if it's wrong, or you know what I mean? Are you going to make plans based on? I don't think so. I think a lot of money gets spent on groundhog. Do people dress up nice and they go and they yank the thing out of its den or whatever and they hold it up and?
Okay, but here's the thing though, is you got me super intrigued and excited to find out who this person is you're talking about.
Yeah.
That we'll bring everybody would have gone wild for.
So we're going to bring in our guest and then our special guest immediately afterwards.
Okay.
Because we're not going to talk about Groundhog Day for the whole show, although that would be funny if we just started this whole thing over again.
I thought that's what was going to happen. Yeah, we were just going to continue to talk about.
We're not. We're going to put this show on a. We're not going to put the show on a Balzac Billy.
Billy.
I think that's the local groundhog, and he might actually be running for office. We're not sure.
Bill Murray is king. You got it.
If you want to get some direction in your life, and especially if you're a business owner, using groundhog shadow is not an excellent way to forecast where your business is going. But you know what you can do?
What's that?
You could possibly jump on the Chamber of Commerce if you're a business owner. And you know what? It's a good thing we're talking about it, Dave, because we have Tanisha with us and our special guest, who everyone would crazy for, Jordy Bronson, who also was.
Did you
surprised?
See how crazy I went when I got on here? Look at our guests today. Our guests are awesome. Hey, we got a couple people just hey Dave, and I want to get these out of the way here. What did the groundhog see? If we got are we doing a like his own shadow? Is that what we're doing? Are we doing trivia? Are we doing a joke here?
I don't think so.
We'll figure that out.
You know what the groundhog did see today? The groundhog saw that Jordy has a mustache for the first time, and I think it's a one-day only event, and he's doing it on our show. So thank you, Jordy, for doing that and being here. Tanisha, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. This has been a little bit of planning because you're a very busy person, and you are very involved with the Claresholm Chamber of Commerce, as is Jordy, obviously. So thank you both for being here. And the intention with having you folks on the show was just to have a little chat about, we like to have the chamber on every once in a while and talk about, what does the chamber do and some of the highlights.
So do you mind, Alec? I apologize. I'm going to hijack just for a second here because we had Sheena and I, like I was explaining before, we got this new segment, and I thought I wanted to do this now because I want to include Jordy and Tanisha on this segment.
Sure.
So as we do the interview, we've got a new segment called Old Timey Words.
Nice.
Okay. So Old Timey Words. So the old timey word for today, everybody, is apricity. Okay. So now, first of all, does anybody actually know what apricity means? Does anybody know what that means?
I have no idea.
That is okay. That is okay because I also had to look it up and find out what apricity means. And so apricity is actually a word that's really unique that replaces anything really. Since it combines both the presence of light itself, so the actual light, and the warmth of that light. So apricity, as an example, the apricity covered his hair, his arms, his whole body.
That is a weird word to ever use in a sentence.
So it's old-timey words.
Very old-timey words. Well, I'm glad we got it out of the way.
If we can use it sometime, if you guys can work it in.
Okay.
No promises. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. Very old-timey.
Jordy's gonna have to pick it up on that one.
Yeah, Jordy's already thinking about it. I can tell.
Okay.
So let's just so for both of you, can we just talk briefly about your positions in the chamber so we know where you are? So Jordy, you're
I am the vice president of the Claresholm Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, and Tanisha.
I am recently a director. I only just joined a few months ago.
Okay, awesome. Is this your first time being with a chamber in this capacity?
A chamber specifically, yes. Yeah. I dabbled with the community center while I was working there in Nanton too, which I'm technically still doing. But yeah, chamber's the first for me.
Gotcha. Awesome. So for folks who aren't sure, they've heard of the Chamber of Commerce, maybe you're a business, an existing business or a new business to town, and you've heard you can be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Jordy, what does that mean if I become as a business a member of the Chamber of Commerce? How does that translate to a business?
So the Chamber of Commerce sells memberships every year. And if you choose to sign your business up to be a member of the Chamber, we offer different benefits through our program, as well as we hold different events throughout the year that you're able to be a part of. You get to enter your business in our business awards at the end of the year, and just a whole bunch of different benefits for those that do decide to sign up for the membership.
Gotcha. And so when we're talking about like benefits, we're in some cases you're talking about literally benefit. Like I think there's a health plan connected to the chamber. Is that?
That is correct. And I didn't bring the piece of paper that says what our benefits are. Do you have it in front of you, Tanisha?
Basically, it's just like your standardized group benefits plan. So as far as I'm aware, it's got like medical and dental programs within it, and it's available for members who have more than 3 employees actively involved in their business.
And this is really important because as a small business, and that can be 3 to 10 people, getting health benefits is a little bit tricky. And so being able to go through the Chamber of Commerce is a really nice way. If that's, your entry point as far as like, oh, that sounds like a good thing for my business. It's excellent. What is the cost of a membership for the year?
Jordy?
I believe it is $100 for the year.
That's great. I mean, that so if you're looking at kind of like cost and things like that, you're probably, don't quote me, but I'm going to guess that the savings that you would get by being on a group benefit plan, for example, for medical and dental, you're probably offsetting your cost pretty quickly. The business awards as well. I mean, it's a really nice marketing and kind of it's a mixer at the end of the year, which is a lot of fun. And I've also noticed too, a lot of businesses, we've talked about it before on the show, a lot of businesses that are chamber members or have won a business award often will display it in their business when you walk in, which I think is pretty cool and pretty telling. My hands keep disappearing. I'm sorry. It's weird.
That's okay. Yeah.
But it's a really good indicator.
It is. Well, and on top of the business awards, from a cost saving standpoint, you do also have access, because we're part of the Alberta Chamber of Commerce. You do have access to like fuel discounts and shipping discounts, marketing opportunities, and then as well, depending like discounted office supplies. So, what initially would be like $100 cost for the year, if you take advantage of the programs that are available to you, absolutely, you'll save well above and beyond that.
And that seems to be part of the key, is that you need to kind of find out and maybe ask some questions and figure out where the advantages are. Because I know we've talked about the chamber a couple of times, and it's always surprising to me how many little advantages there are to being a chamber member, and it cost kind of becomes less of an issue when you look at like when you say like shipping costs or even office supplies for certain companies. That's huge. That's massive.
Can be. Well, and then even from like a networking standpoint as well, you have access to the business awards every year. You have access to sponsorship programs with the different events that we have. And as well too, I mean, by no means are you limited to not participating with the chamber. We're always welcoming people to attend our monthly meetings. We have our annual general meeting coming up sometime in March. So it's really like an opportunity to network and get your name and your business involved in the community, which is ultimately the most important thing is our community.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tanisha, you'd mentioned the Alberta Chamber of Commerce. So there's a bigger sort of governing body or a bigger group that sort of oversees all of the chambers within Alberta. Is that correct?
Yeah, it kind of trickles down from there. Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of the policy and the advantages that are presented to businesses on a local level come from a bigger group Alberta wide. Okay,
yeah, exactly. So, provincially, yeah.
Gotcha. And so if you've got like, if you or Jordy or someone on the board has questions, or a member has questions that you don't have access to that answer right away, would it be the Alberta Chamber that you could go back to and say, hey, we've got this question or concern? Like, they're there to kind of help support you if you run up against some questions?
I'd like to think that.
I'd like to think that we just lost Tanisha.
Yeah, we just oh, she's back.
She's back.
Okay, let's try that again.
I asked too tough a question.
Yeah, what'd you last hear?
we heard I think that, and then you disappeared.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that locally, I think we'd be able to service that. It's just a matter of dropping an email or talking to any of the active directors on the Chamber of Commerce, and we could get that information for you.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's great. Jordy, what would be...
I've been trying to think of ways to use this word. I Googled it, and I got nothing.
It's a tough one.
I've got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed in the lack of using the word apricity today so far. Yeah, but the apricity is making everyone on the show glow today.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at you. You don't even need us. You don't even need us.
That was an incredible linguistic stretch you performed. Jordy, what I was going to ask you was, are there sort of like things about, that you kind of come up against when folks are asking about the Chamber, where you're the appearance of maybe what the Chamber is, or common questions that people have, that I know you and I've talked a bit about how you're kind of changing the culture of how the Chamber is viewed. And it seems to me, certainly in the last few years, it's become much more accessible as far as like welcoming a lot of new members. And the culture of that, to me anyway, seems to have shifted a bit, where like the business awards, for example, and it's nice to see the Chamber, the name is sort of being pushed out there more. Are those things you folks talk about in terms of like, because it's a tough thing to kind of market to the business community, because it's like you get your membership, and then you may kind of forget about it for a year, and then you're, I gotta renew my membership. But there's so many things along the way that are really nice advantages to being a member. And so what would you kind of recommend for people as far as like just staying engaged with the Chamber, so you know that you're kind of connecting with those advantages along the way?
I think you were right on the money with most of that. So we do struggle internally as the board of directors to be able to sell the value of the Chamber of Commerce to our members. So what does your $100 buy you a year? It buys you all the benefits that Tanisha listed for us there earlier. But what else as a local community does the Chamber do for me? Seems to be one of the questions that we get the most. And we're really trying hard to build the network and an area where business owners can feel comfortable to bring their concerns or their joys to us and say, we would really love you guys to advocate for us, either with the town, with the Economic Development Committee, with any of the other organizations in town that are affecting local business, and really try and create a local network of business owners that are all working together to make this town a better place. And I think we're doing a good job over the last few years of that, but we definitely have a long way to go. And as Tanisha said, the best way to get the most out of the Chamber is to be involved with the Chamber.
Right.
So we have our annual general meeting coming up. We would love to see you that are watching this program come out, join our board of directors, give us all of your great ideas, and help us build something that is great for the area.
And you touched on something that I think is really important too, is that, so you sit on the Economic Development Committee, and as do I. And so what's nice is that there's some connectivity. There's a little bit of overlap between the Chamber and economic development. But what's nice is having you there, we're able to kind of, if something comes up in discussion, we can kind of go, is that a Chamber thing? Or should that stay on the table here with the EDC? And so, it's nice because you're kind of advocating for your members as well, to a different board that has different responsibilities, but is still connected to the business community. So as a business owner and as a member of the chamber, you do a really nice job advocating for the chamber and for the members with the EDC as well. So there's some nice connectivity there, I think, between the two groups, which I think is really important.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think it's very important. It seems to be the same 24 people that are on all the boards in our lovely small town. So it's nice when we have the opportunity to network together to get things done.
Yeah, and we've got Tanisha, right?
Absolutely.
Right? She's new.
Yeah.
Now, do you live in town or do you live in Nanton?
I'm in Claresholm. Yeah.
Oh, you're in Claresholm. Okay.
She's always been in Claresholm.
I have.
She's always been, but she worked in Nanton for a little while.
That's okay. You're allowed. That's fine.
But every time I talk to her, she goes, "Oh, I got to go home to Claresholm. I got to go home to Claresholm." So
Claresholm's where my heart is. I'm so sorry.
Oh, excellent answer. Yeah. Excellent.
That's a really good answer.
Hey, guys, I know that every time I open my mouth, you are always rolling your eyes and, well, what's he going to say next? But I actually have a serious question for you regarding this.
Oh.
So my question is, when it comes to the chamber, first of all, have you ever had anybody under the age of maybe like 17, 16 who's joined the chamber with a business? Have you ever seen that before?
So we are both fairly new members. I've been a part of it for 2 or 3 years, and I believe, Tanisha, you just joined last year. So we don't have a whole lot of historical data to back that up, but as of currently, no, we don't have any young business members.
Okay, so I do see young people who are trying to start their own business, become young entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So is there any kind of restrictions as far as age for some of those young people to join the chamber and learn more about what it is, so that when they do get old enough, they understand exactly what the chamber does and how it benefits their business?
Yeah, I'm going to comment on it a little. So from a participation standpoint, anybody is welcome to our monthly meetings. And anybody can come. That's not a problem.
Okay.
So if you are wanting to get exposed to certain things, if you want to start networking, if you want to start gaining an understanding of certain things, absolutely come to those meetings. From a development standpoint, I think that would be really important, because you get access to some legal jargon or just things that you're not really exposed to in your day-to-day education. So I think that would be really important. And then from a volunteer standpoint, these kids are obviously building a portfolio. They're developing themselves. Of course, you want to have access to some volunteer opportunities to put on your resume when you go out and try and find a job, or practical skills that you can apply to a company that you want to open up. So by no means are you denied access just because you're not the age of majority. And then from the business standpoint, as far as being a member, that one, I mean, again, it's not very common for somebody who isn't of the age of 18 holding a corporation in their name, right? Or a sole proprietor business name in their name. So that one, I don't really know if I could delve on too much, but in my mind, if you're a registered business, you have a business license, and you're allowed to operate in the MD of Willow Creek, what's stopping you?
Yeah, and I'll make one remark, I'll have to check. My brother, way back, he owned a small business in Okotoks when he was 16. And I believe he was their youngest chamber member. So if I remember correctly, they did sort of be like, you can put your skateboard at the door, son, and come on in. They were very welcoming. What I want to know is, if you're a groundhog, can you join the chamber? Or is there no groundhogs allowed?
Is that, that can't be a rule. That's discrimination.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's discrimination. You can't do that.
I just thought it out. I know people are probably wondering that, but I don't think
so. A quick story to kind of piggyback off of Alec there. So I moved from Saskatchewan, hence the rider hat here. Come on.
Oh, you tapped the hat and she disappeared.
As soon as I talk about the riders, she's kicks herself out.
Don't blame her.
Thanks a lot, Tanisha.
Good move.
So anyway, when I was 16 years old, legal age in Saskatchewan to be working in the bars and the pubs is 19 years old. When I was 16 years old, I went to the Liquor Board and Labor Board, and they gave me permission to work in the bars. I was the only guy in the city of Regina who was 16 years old working in the nightclubs, DJing in the nightclubs, and then going to high school, and telling everybody, oh, sorry, I couldn't make Joey's party on the weekend because I was too busy bumping in the clubs. So
I feel like any province you could get away with that would be Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan's, yeah, they're pretty lenient. Well, and a lot of people don't know this, Dave. You also had a full beard when you were 16 too, so you did not look 16.
How did you know that? Where'd you find those photos?
Just Google it.
So the reason I was asking about that is because Arden's in the studio today, and Arden, I was asking her while you guys were chatting if she has ever thought about becoming a young entrepreneur, and if she really understood kind of what the chamber does for entrepreneurs and business owners. Yeah. And she didn't really have an understanding of what it was, but I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to have, kind of like my story in Saskatchewan? Alec, you said your brother, right? Mm-hmm. It was your brother? Yeah. So Alec's brother. Wouldn't it be cool to be able to go somewhere with a resume that says I'm part of the chamber?
Right?
True. So like you said, you get the resume experience, you get the volunteer experience, you get the networking opportunities. Mm-hmm. If you are a member, you get your online business on our website. So that gives you that online presence. So when you look up your business name on Google, what are the few things that are going to pop up? And it's going to be that chamber membership. So it's definitely, like, from a very basic standpoint, kind of gives you a bit of a leg up.
Right. Yeah. So I'm trying to convince her to just start a business just to become a chamber member now. So
I think it's well worth.
I'll keep working on it. What business did you say you wanted to start when you were younger?
So the first one was an art studio where I would be teaching different mediums to people, kind of like the classes.
So like an instructor.
Yeah.
So art studio instructor. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And then there was something else you wanted to do?
And then the other one was a smoothie truck. So
smoothie truck.
A smoothie truck. That would be cool. Oh, your mom's. Come on.
Smoothie truck. I think that would be pretty good.
I think a smart entrepreneur would figure out some way to take the smoothie truck and the art gallery, the art studio, and the classes, and combine them all together in some way.
Yeah.
That's the way.
A smoothie truck's pretty unique. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think you should do the smoothie truck.
Okay.
With the little
just
ice
park
cream
it out in the back here when we do the show.
Yeah. It's a great point though, Dave, that you kind of raise about, like, because we do think about the chamber as being like established businesses and people maybe who have been in it for a while, but having the opportunity for young folks to kind of see how it works, even if they don't have a business, just to see what the chamber can offer and learn a little bit about entrepreneurship or business ownership and that sort of thing from that perspective, really, really smart. Like if you had a paper route or a lemonade stand, could you be I don't know, maybe, because there's a lot to see those benefits would be cool.
And not even just young people, but starting out a business can be incredibly scary. We all have our passions and things that we love. Alec with the media, myself, Patrice, Tanisha. I know you and your husband have a moving company. Those are our passions, but learning and finding our way around the business side of those passions can be quite scary at times. So having the most people and connections in your corner as possible to be able to ask questions and learn from those that have made the mistake before, I think it's just a huge value.
Yeah, it is.
We have so, because I'm going to bring Arden on here again. So the benefit of having a show like this is if you are thinking about starting a new business, people often will give their opinions of what your business should be named and what it should be called. And so somebody said you should call it Smart Smoothies.
Oh, I like
that.
So
see the art, see what they're doing there with the art and Smart Smoothies. So there you go. So you got your business name now.
The name.
Yeah, you just got to get registered. Got to get the business license together. Get a whole bunch of inventory. Get a truck. Learn how to drive. And then you're set. You're on your way.
Yeah. But you know what, Arden? I'll tell you this, and the chamber would tell you this. When you start a business and you're trying to get your idea off the ground, it can feel like difficult, dark days. But the apricity will bask in all of your.
Come on. He didn't even He didn't even really have to do mental gymnastics as much as I did to get that one. So
I've been thinking about this for 28 minutes. 28 minutes.
Very nice.
Yeah, there you go. I
just so people understand what that was all about if they just tuned in.
Yeah.
It's our old timey word today, presented by Sheena.
I like that. So is this going to be a regular Is this going to be a regular thing on the show every week?
She said she's going to provide a new old-timey word every week, and we have to figure out how to use it in the show. So,
wow, I love the idea. Is she just pulling these out of her brain, or is she looking these up? It doesn't really matter.
I don't know where she's pulling these out of, but
that's great.
Yeah, I'm just trusting her to provide them, and then we're going to talk about them.
Yeah, so. she could be making up these words. We don't know because there's no way to. There's no dictionary that's old enough to be able to double check her work. But I trust her implicitly. She was on the show last week. In fact, I saw her on Tuesday. We and they didn't have soup on Tuesday. They had like pasta and chicken, kind of an Alfredo thing. It was really good at the soup bowl. So they were on last week.
You know, it's really funny, and this whole new segment just came out of a conversation. I was asking her some questions on Messenger yesterday, and all of a sudden she used a word, and I was like, I haven't heard that word for like 50 years. Because I'm 50 years old. Right. And then she goes, oh, yeah, old timey words. We should make them popular and bring them back. And I went, there's a segment on the show.
And here we are.
That's how things get decided on this show.
I'm going to ask one final question for our guests that is not really chamber related because we're talking about businesses and we're talking about getting a business started. Tanisha, where do you work? What is your day job? We'll just talk about your businesses for a minute since we're on the topic.
Yeah, so I've got a few things going on. So like my primary job is I work for CIBC in Claresholm as a manager. And I was previously the manager in Nanton, which is how I got to know David. And on the side, me and my hubby, Vincent, we have got a transportation company that's not Hotshot. It's called Proulx Transport, and we also do like dump and disposal services, and basically anything that can go on a trailer and it's under a certain amount of weight, we can get it anywhere in Alberta.
Hold on. So if I got stuff that I don't want anymore, and I'm like, go and chuck this in the river. No, not the river. But if I need you to go to the
don't
dump,
do that.
like, are you offering, like, you'll go to the landfill if you can put stuff on the? Is that part of what? Just so I'm not missing.
So like we've got a dump trailer. We've got different flat decks, and we'll pick up like different types of equipment, vehicles, farm stuff, old appliances, like really anything that's like allowed to go to the landfill, we can grab.
No kidding. I did not know that you did that. Yeah, that is cool.
It was speaking about like new ventures and opening up companies like that. Yeah. That started in 2022, and it's been a hard. Hard, but it's also been extremely rewarding, and we've both learned like so much about ourselves and what we can handle and what we can apply ourselves to. And then there's, it's been really good, honestly, like all around. I'm really proud of us and how we've come along so far.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
This is what's so great. I did not know that. And that right there is like, because there's kind of a bit of, there's that need is never going to go away, right? Mm-hmm. Especially like, getting stuff to the dump and whatever. I mean, that's a small part of it, but yeah, like you said, you're not Hotshot, but I can see where that's very cool.
Yeah, so it's been really awesome, and I don't know if I mentioned the name. It's Proulx Transportation Services. So you can find us on the Claresholm Chamber website.
No kidding. That was going to be my next question.
Now, if you had only used our word of the day in that whole thing, then man,
I'm really sorry.
You would have been a star.
It is a tough one. And then Jordy, can we just talk a little bit about? We know that are you an arborist? Is that the right word?
That is the right word.
Is it? Okay, cool. And so for folks that don't know what that is or what you do, we see your truck all over the place. You can actually hear you before we see you quite often because you're usually they call it felling a tree. Is that the right word? Okay. But what primarily do you do with your company?
So there's actually a few different divisions of my company. So mainly, we do tree pruning and removals in healthcare all over southern Alberta, Vulcan, Staveley, Grand, and Claresholm. And then we also do commercial snow removal for a lot of the businesses here in town. My daughter runs our lawn care division in the summer. So she's got her own mower and truck and trailer and goes around and does the lawns. And then we manage Galaxy storage units in Claresholm, and we also manage the co-op bulk fuel station.
Oh,
so
see, this is things I did not know about you, which is very cool.
Yeah.
This is why it's great to ask, because I think a lot of folks know you as, at the very least, the tree guy and the guy that knows a lot about trees and how to take care of them and how to take them down if you need to. But these other aspects of your business are really cool to, and your daughter running the lawn care side is awesome.
Yeah, it's been, well, I don't know if anyone else here has a teenage daughter, but keeping them occupied is an important part of it.
Yep.
So she doesn't end up in jail or something like that. So.
It's because that's the natural progression. If she's not cutting a lawn, she's probably in jail. It's a very straight line between the two.
Yeah.
And now to be in the position of arborist, is that, and I'm honestly asking because I don't know, so forgive the question, but is that something that you go to school for? Is it something you kind of learn as you go? Like how do you get into that?
So both. My head foreman, Jason Cool, went to school in Ontario for 4 years and got his arborist certificate from a university over in Ontario. And then I did, I couldn't find anyone in our area that had their certificate to apprentice under. So I had to go through the International Society of Arboriculture study program. And it was a 4-year program where you read this big textbook. It's got a whole bunch of tree biology and rigging and climbing and everything in it. And then after the 4 years, I submit all of my invoices to this governing body to prove that I have X amount of hours in the field. And then you go off and you write a test to get your certificate. And that certificate is recognized around the world. So if I want to take it to Australia, it would still be valid there.
Wow. And I know that because you've got the picker truck or whatever they call that, and you've got some gear, you're often doing things like putting up Christmas lights, and you've got other things. Yeah, as Tracy said, you're very involved in community events. So it's cool because you've got the means to do other things, and I know that you help out a bunch where you can as well.
We actually don't talk about Christmas lights.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do Christmas lights, but I will if you're in a pinch. It's
gotcha.
It gets to be a little much around Christmas time. So
yeah, so if anyone's needing Christmas lights, just call Jordy. He'll just do it for free. He'll put all of his other work aside. All the snow removal work will wait. No, because that is honestly, that's like on a full-time kind of thing. I know you've helped out the town, so we're not going to say that you do Christmas lights.
No Christmas
we didn't
lights.
Say that. No. My last question for you: have you ever cut down a tree and discovered a groundhog, and gone Okay?
I have. But no. But actually, I want to go back to this groundhog thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You got a rant. Here we go.
Okay, I don't know if you can do a screenshot, but can you show the audience a picture of Balzac Billy?
I will look for it and I will show it.
We'll do it. Dave will be on it.
So I just learned something today, and it completely blew my mind. So I'll wait for the picture of Balzac Billy.
And while you're doing that, I'm just going to share something real quick, Jordy. Someone had said, going back to our word of the day, that every time someone says the word of the day, you should all scream and cheer like they did on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I'm going to get that now. I'm going to get the screaming on Pee-wee's Playhouse. We're going to have that for every time they say it.
That's great. So Balzac Billy, is he in Balzac? I assume it's a groundhog that lives near there.
Yes. So he's the Alberta version of the groundhog.
It is coming up in just a few seconds here. Okay,
we really need the picture before we can segue.
Okay.
Is that a word? The next part here.
Yeah.
Nobody knows this, but Balzac Billy is also an arborist. He got his 4-year degree. It's amazing.
So Balzac Billy.
Yeah, Balzac Billy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, and just keep waiting.
Well, I mentioned Groundhog Day to Jordy right before the show, and he was like, "Do not let me forget." He was like, "Yeah, we're talking about business, but I got to talk about." Okay, so this is Balzac Billy.
Did anyone else know that it's a guy in a costume? Like, I had no idea.
Wait a minute, you got to be kidding me!
Groundhog, but no,
that is a groundhog. That's what a
guy in this costume. I don't know if he crawls out of a hole in the ground or how it works. But
what do you mean? There's people in these costumes?
Yeah. So this is the groundhog.
That is shocking to me because it even says Balzac Billy on his coat.
Yeah.
I guess I never thought about that maybe groundhogs don't wear coats. So that's Balzac Billy.
So to my understanding, this is who predicts our early spring. Is some,
wow.
Yeah, gentleman in a costume.
Man in a suit.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Right? I didn't know this either. So
does that mean that the Calgary Flames, that's not a real dog?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's not get into that. I thought that was
a real dog.
I feel like we're inching towards like, is Santa Claus real conversation.
We are getting into some dangerous conversation. You know what it does remind me of? Honestly, there was a story, and we talked about it on the show about 6 months ago. This is true. There was a zoo. Do you remember this? There was a zoo in China, and someone posted a picture of a bear standing up, and it had its paws on the railing, and it looked like a guy in a bear costume. And so it kind of went viral, and people were like, that is a man in a bear costume, because its butt was kind of flat looking. It didn't look like a bear. Turns out it's a real bear. They're not very bear. They're kind of flat looking from the side. But it went super viral, and this zoo was accused of like putting people in costumes and then charging people money to come and see a bear when it's actually some dude in a costume. Not true. It's actually the kind of bear. They just look like a guy in a deflated bear costume. It's just.
I'm gonna need to look this up now.
So anyway. Imagine that. So the people that make those accusations, can you imagine the logistics of trying to have a whole staff that fill the bear pen in costumes?
Right? It's a real bear, and it just looks like someone in an ill-fitting bear costume. But it's the species of bear. It's how they look. And
my goodness!
Anyway, it was kind of the opposite. It wasn't a guy in a bear costume. It's an actual bear. So you see, Jordy, the world is full of surprises when it comes to
Jordy is looking stunned from that story you just told.
It's a
I'm
story.
currently on the internet trying to find out more about this Balzac Billy, because I just can't comprehend.
The bear, put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I just can't comprehend that we get behind a guy in a costume predicting our summer.
I know. I know it's crazy. I think we've covered all kinds of ground here today, groundhog, if you will, and I appreciate you both being here, taking the time. I know you're both really busy. Lastly, if folks are looking to reach out, find out more about the chamber, maybe looking for a membership, what's the best start for anyone looking to find out more?
What's our email there, Jordy?
Yeah, darn, I was looking at you. If you Google Claresholm Chamber of Commerce, there is there's an excellent website.
Yep.
That highlights all of our current members. And if you are interested in joining, I'm positive that there is a link in there that you can click join now and become one of our members. But more importantly, come out to our annual general meeting. We want
there it is.
We want everyone to get involved. So whether you think your business isn't big enough or your business is too big or whatever you think, it's not it, just come out and join us.
Yeah.
So
we've got, do you guys want to talk to this at all since we brought it up here? So I've got all the contact information here.
Yep, right on the town website. And then you see there in blue, it says the CDCC's website. If you click that. Yep.
Right here.
Perfect. And it should route you to like the dedicated Claresholm Chamber website. From there, you have access again to requesting a membership. You have access to our business directory of all of our current members. And then, I'm pretty sure the email address is info@claresholmchamber.ca.
Yes.
Try and click it one more time, Dave. I think you missed it.
Did I?
I'm not sure.
Unless the program you're using, does it only share the specific site, or is it
our directory?
Yeah.
And I will figure out another way to get it, but
Dave has 9 screens in his office, so it's hard to know where things where things are going to end.
Okay.
But the town website, it's direct, and then you can go to the chamber website as well, which I believe was also built and designed locally, which we should mention.
It sure was.
Which was very nice of the chamber to think of things in that capacity.
Definitely do our best to support local, because
which makes
got to take care of our own, right?
Right? Absolutely.
Speaking of supporting local, I just want to do a shout out. So Blackwood Coffee Co. has an amazing turkey BLT on
Yes, they do.
So if you haven't had lunch yet, jump over there and grab one before they're all gone.
I know. They are really good.
I might actually go get another one, to be honest with you.
You should. Well, it's Groundhog Day. It's all about repetition.
It is, right? Over and over.
Go have another one.
Do it.
All right. We'll let you both go. Thank you so much for joining us. Super appreciate it. And you're welcome back anytime. Go check out the Claresholm Chamber website if you're looking for more information. AGM is coming up, and we appreciate all the work you're doing in the community. And hope you continue to be involved. So thank you to both of you. All right, folks.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good rest of your day. See you later.
See ya.
There we go. Awesome.
There we go.
It was fun. We learned a lot. And I love that we learn a little bit about the businesses that they run outside of. Everyone seems to have a side gig going these days. And it's nice because it's what folks are really passionate about. So
I on a serious note here, I want to ask you, Alec.
Yes.
You guys have started up a business again, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and you've had businesses in the past. Mm-hmm. So with some experience as an entrepreneur,
yes.
What advice would you give to other businesses? What do you think would be good business advice if you were a business professional? And if you need some time to think about it, I've got something in mind here, so I can talk about mine first if you want me to.
No, I think that, honestly, like when you find.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know I was going to come back on. All right.
Go ahead.
Pay your taxes.
Pay your taxes.
Yes.
Here we go.
Don't think that I'll just leave those till later because they don't go away. So
pay your taxes.
Pay your
good.
taxes. That's
pay
a
your
good.
taxes.
I think when it comes to starting, I think that when you find something you're really passionate about, it doesn't matter what it is. Someone gave me this advice way back, and it's stuck with me. And she said, if you find someone who's doing what you want to be doing in 10 years from now, go start with a coffee with that person. And it was really powerful advice because it's like, if you can sort of prove in the moment that this pipe dream, as it might appear, or this crazy idea that you have actually exists in the world and someone's doing it, it gives you some tangible path forward. And so I think like, if you're like, I really love nature and I love trees and I'm interested in like, how do people take care of them? And maybe you saw some stuff as a kid that sparked your interest. Yeah, and then you go talk to Jordy. It's like, well, now you can kind of build a bridge between this thought. And I think for a lot of people, you also often hear like, if you've got a dream about doing something, you'll sometimes hear like, that's not a real job. And so when you go and find that person who is doing it as a real job, it can really bring things into focus, into reality today. So I think that would be kind of if I had to give advice, it's like, just seek out people who are really doing it. And it proves to yourself that it's entirely possible and doable.
To piggyback on that, Alec, I would also say that you need to cultivate a mindset for business. And what I mean by that is you are going to be given challenges almost every single day. You'll think you have the best laid out plan, and then something will happen or something will change and you'll have to pivot. But never give up and never be too proud to ask for advice.
That's really good too.
Like Alex said, find someone that, even if they're not successful at what you're doing, if they were able to be successful at what their dream was, go for coffee. They have a wealth of knowledge to share, and most business owners would love to see someone else succeed. So.
Absolutely. I heard something the other day about success. It was like, success is not a commodity. It's a mindset. Like, it's not a commodity like there's only going to be so much copper or, whatever. And I think sometimes we view like, oh, Jordy's super successful at what he does, does that sap my chances? And it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. So I think they're meeting with other people who have been through that battle. And it, like you said, it doesn't matter what business you're in or where you're starting, knowing that there's going to be challenges and hurdles ahead shouldn't freak you out or stop you from doing it. It's like, how do I handle those things? How do I navigate those things? Where can I go when I feel like I'm kind of boxed in? And like you said, just not giving up is a huge part of it. Huge part of it. So no, it's good. I'm glad you stuck around.
Yeah.
Deep, thoughtful conversation here on Groundhog Day.
So I always thought that collaborations, I found that was one thing that a lot of businesses miss out on. you know, and sometimes we've got to point out, you know, there's a reason why Walmart and McDonald's, Tim Hortons and, you know, Esso, they work together because it benefits each business, and it's going to help you grow individually if you can work together in collaborations. So I always thought that that's one thing I always talk to people about is don't forget that, you know, there's a lot of opportunity in collaborations. And you can learn a lot, and that's because you're now working with another person and you can learn a lot from each other. You know, it's kind of like Alec and I and how we collaborate. And so, you know,
I'm doing really all the learning. I haven't taught Dave a single thing. We're still waiting. He's still waiting.
Today, I'll be honest with you that today is the first show that I feel like Alec's doing a good job of keeping me on track.
That's so nice of you. It is Groundhog Day, and I wanted to do something special for you.
Dave's just going off in all these directions. And now it's going, let's get back to what we're talking about here.
Well, I feel like discussing these groundhog issues was more important than the actual chamber stuff. But that's
no, the chamber was just a way. That was just an excuse for us to talk about groundhogs and really this discovery you've made about Balzac Billy.
All right, I need to pretend to go do something. So I
get it, my friend.
Let you gentlemen carry on with the show, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, Jordan.
Thank you.
Have a good one. We'll see you later. Awesome.
Okay. And I just wanted to also mention, Alec, that for Brenda, our daughter is still here.
Oh, good. I was kind of wondering about. I was like, did Arden? Is she still in?
No, Arden's still here, so she's still here and present in the studio. And this is not AI generated or anything like that. So she's not getting into trouble. So don't worry about that, Brenda. She's being a good girl here. So
she's an awesome kid.
Yeah,
I've known Arden for a long time. She's wicked. So I'm going to just mention because we've got not a lot of time left. Believe it or not, we got to get to our what's happening in town, what's happening in your town. I know you got stuff coming up in Nanton, I'm sure. And when we talked about, we were talking about Groundhog Day and sort of Balzac Billy and all of that. Have you ever seen in the States like how people dress to go and see the groundhog? They put on tuxedos.
Oh
and
yeah,
like top hats.
Top hats. Yeah, I've seen it.
It's like it's nuts. It's huge. It's a big deal. And so they respect the process, obviously, because you have to. If you're going to go see a groundhog, you got to look super good.
You do, yeah.
And if you're in town and you want to look good, boom, you know where you go for Groundhog Day to look good. You go to Janet's Fashions, who's one of our sponsors. I'm gonna just.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Like they are a very fashionable shop, but I'm not sure if they do carry top hats and tuxes yet.
Have you go in?
You can go and try. You can go ask. Yeah,
I know they have really nice clothes, and they've got great footwear as well, and boots and all that sort of thing. So they're our first sponsor. Huge shout out to Janet's Fashions on the corner of 50th Ave and Highway 2. Spring might be around the corner. I don't know. We'll have to ask Balzac Billy when spring is coming, but I'm sure they've got spring stuff coming in because they're always on top of it. Men's and women's fashions at Janet's. You can go and check them out. And I believe they're open Monday to Saturday every week, which is awesome. Another thanks to our sponsor, your dollar store with more. Locally owned and operated. They have a little bit of everything other than stuff for your groundhog. Maybe they do. I don't know. I haven't been in there for a little bit. So they might have groundhog stuff. They've got stationery. They've got things for your baby, things for your pets, a small electronics section, small hardware. They've got gift cards. They've got, of course, their famous helium tank where you can go and get your helium balloons for your groundhog party. Go and talk to your dollar store with more. And then on your way around the corner, always swing by Claresholm Pharmacy. They've got a team of friendly prescribing pharmacists who are always willing to help. They've also got a small grocery section. They've got dairy. They've got cudload meats in there now. And their grocery section's actually expanded a little bit, which is pretty cool. And, of course, you can go and get all of your prescriptions filled and vitamins and excellent advice. So thank you again to Claresholm Pharmacy.
Yeah, thanks to all our sponsors. We appreciate all the help.
Without them, we would not be able to have a show dedicated to groundhogs.
That's right. Day. Exactly. You got it.
So I'm going to ask you what's shaking in Nanton in the next week or so.
Well, you know what? For tomorrow's show, we're actually going to be having a little discussion about something that it was a little bit of a surprise in town here.
Oh.
I didn't realize this was happening, but are you familiar with the North End Esso?
Yes, I am. Yep.
You are. Okay.
Yeah.
So the North End Esso has shut down.
Yeah.
For renovations.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk to, this is Daryl Terrio, and Daryl's going to be in the studio tomorrow, and we're going to be chatting with Daryl about what's going on with the North End Esso.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a little bit of a shock when they announced that they were going to be shutting it down for a little while so that they can do some renovations. But we're going to find out all about the renovations and the history of the North End Esso and kind of,
Yeah.
you know,
I didn't know that, but you know what I'm kind of hoping is they're going to put a Tim Hortons in there. Maybe do you think they could put a Tim? I mean, probably not. It might be a bit of a stretch.
No, I think 2 Tim Hortons in
Oh
Danton.
yeah, okay, I see your point.
I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
that's not a good idea. That's why I'm not on the board.
Unless they're moving it over there. Yeah, it's
This
so I'm not going to make that suggestion tomorrow.
No.
So if you want to make that suggestion, feel free to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I will. I'll be. Are you guys putting in a Tim? No, I'm not going to do that. You guys have got an excellent Tim Hortons up there. That's cool. So you're going to have him on the show tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? You know who else we're going to have on the show? So we've got a new junior writer for the radio station. So our junior writer is Sydney Slevin.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No
so
kidding.
Sydney is going to be actually on here, and we also have another new volunteer who is, and I just want to bring Arden in and recognize Arden. So Arden comes into the studio. She's been learning some stuff, so she helps us out around here, and she wanted to come in today. And so I said, hey, if you're going to come in at 12 today, guess what? You could be on the show and see how we do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why Arden ended up getting roped into doing the show today.
Yeah.
But I want to thank Arden too. So thank you, Arden, for coming down and doing this. So what I don't think maybe right now the kids understand, the levity of what we're providing here and what we're doing. Yeah. But one day they will see like a business that will start up and will just take over the world, and it will be all credited to what Arden did to promote that business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
You got to start somewhere, right?
That's right.
You got to start somewhere.
So we've got Dar, who's going to be on the show tomorrow as well. Okay. And this is the best part.
Yep.
This is the best part. And this part here, I need you to confirm for me.
Zooming in.
Confirm for me.
Yeah.
Alec. Confirm for me.
I will.
Is this what it's like to have kids? I need you to confirm. I am juggling the show tomorrow.
Yep.
With announcing skating for the Nanton Skating Club.
Yep.
With going to rehearsal.
Yep. With
doing a show tomorrow night.
Yep.
Am I getting close to what it's like to have kids?
No, not even close.
Not even close.
No. That's like a morning for your average parent. Your whole day is what most parents go through on a Wednesday morning. That's with just one kid. Like you could have one kid and be that busy. I appreciate that you were like, is this what it's like to have children? No.
Juggling all these balls.
Having kids is way harder.
Somebody's agreeing with you, and somebody's giving the old face slap to me.
So what you're saying is you've got events that are planned out with time frames that you can look at ahead of time, and you've got predictability, and you know what to expect at every event. So that's not like having kids at all.
That would be nice, except for the fact that they're all stacked on top of each other right at the exact same time.
I feel like you brought this on yourself.
I did.
So having kids is like that.
Okay.
But then someone says to you, and you have to renovate the SO all on your own. Like that's what having kids is. It's very, and it's rewarding, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
It gets easier as they get older. And then,
okay.
Yeah. So, it's a good discussion. I do appreciate
Well, anyway, we're going to be at the Nanton Skating Club tomorrow on the show, and I'm going to be announcing for the skating club while doing the show.
I see.
Interviewing. Okay, it's
a little bit like having kids. You're not far off. You know what else is happening? Got about a minute left before the top of the hour. A couple things coming up in Clare. You know what's happening actually today? This is very important at the library. Our good friend Dave Murphy and Macy and the young lady who did the art for the book, they're going to be doing a book reading today, I believe at 2 at the library. Mm-hmm. They're going to be next week. They're going to be down in Staveley doing that as well, which is awesome. We've also got coming up, as they do every week, the meat draw at the Legion. This has kind of a Valentine's theme, but I think it's still meat. 50-50 draw. They've got breakfast packages, duck races, 10 draws, $10. And there's also an ATM on site. So if you need some money, they've got you covered. Nice. Something also to keep an eye out for. This is on Facebook. This is pretty cool. This is a calendar. I'm not going to read this whole thing. This is the calendar of the social center. Look how busy that is.
Yeah.
So when you go in there and take a look, they've got line dancing happening, obviously the Soup Bowl. They've got yoga going on. They've got crib tournaments. So if you're wondering what's up with the social center and what's happening, go and check out their Facebook page. It's also on the Claresholm community page, which we are broadcasting on right now. Mm-hmm. And lastly, and this I thought was pretty neat, and I have another graphic for this as well. which has disappeared, which is way down at the bottom. Okay, here we go. So this is my City Care street store every Tuesday, 9:30 to noon, and then 12:30 to 4. Join us Tuesdays at our free community clothing store. So that's at 5212 1A Street West in Claresholm. So big thanks to my City Care for putting that together. A really neat initiative from them. So yeah, if you need some stuff, go check them out as well. And as always, check out the localpress.com, claresholmlocalpress.com. They have a community calendar, which is full of all the weekly events and everything coming up in town as well, if we've missed anything.
You can listen to the radio station while you read the paper on there. So
isn't that nice?
Isn't that nice?
It's like that feels old timey. Reading the newspaper, listening to the radio. Right?
There you go. That does feel old timey. I'm going to bring Arden in again, just so that I'm just warning her, so she's not doesn't have her finger in her nose or something like that. When, so so I thought I should bring her in. And as we say, so Grantham Library next Saturday at 11:30.
11:30. Awesome. Okay, that's perfect. No, that's really good.
So I thought I should bring her in so that we can all say
goodbye.
Have a good week together.
Have a great week. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, everyone, and go and check out what's happening in town. And I will see you, Dave, for a very brief visit tomorrow on the show at 10:30, because I'm going to blast up to Stavely and go and wrangle a bunch of crazy kids for the rehearsal. Arden's one of them, and we'll see you when you get there. And
next week we can discuss what is up and down when it comes to directions. So I heard you say we're going to go up to Stavely.
Yeah, right. Isn't that funny? Is Stavely. I'm going up to Nanton. You're coming down to Claresholm. Look at the
down
map.
to Claresholm. Yeah,
right. Going down to Lethbridge up to Calgary.
Yeah, but I never got that right. So
really,
I messed up my directions when I was talking all the time. Anyway, that's enough.
That's enough.
Have a great week. We'll see you tomorrow on the show.
You got it. See you, folks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.